Tonight we open with Indiana stepping into Rocket Arena, a building that's been unkind to visiting teams all season. The Pacers arrive at 2-13, still searching for identity without Tyrese Halliburton, and carrying the weight of an 0-8 road record. Cleveland stands at 10-6, steady, sharper at home, and beginning to feel whole again. For Indiana, Pascal Siakam continues to shoulder the load, offering scoring, rebounding, and veteran stability. Benedict Mathurin brings energy and aggression, but so much of the Pacers' offense feels fragile. They're last in effective field goal percentage, last in true shooting, and last in offensive efficiency. Without their playmakers, every possession feels heavier, every shot more contested, every run harder to sustain. Cleveland enters with the advantage of health returning at the right moment. Donovan Mitchell remains the centerpiece, averaging over 30 points per game with an effortless rhythm. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen form the interior wall that Indiana struggles to crack. And with Darius Garland set to return, the Cavaliers regain the spacing, balance, and decision-making that elevates their ceiling. This team scores nearly 120 points per night and defends at a level Indiana hasn't matched all year. On one side, a depleted roster fighting uphill. On the other, a home team regaining momentum and identity. And today's AI pick is Cavaliers -13. Will we cash or will we burn? On to Game 2.
Tonight, the Brooklyn Nets arrive at TD Garden to face a Boston Celtics team coming off 3 straight wins and finding their rhythm after a slow start to the season. Brooklyn enters at 2-12, still struggling to establish any offensive consistency, while Boston sits at 8-7 and beginning to control games with pace and execution. For the Nets, Michael Porter Jr. has been the steady source of scoring, averaging over 24 points per game with efficient perimeter shooting. Day'Ron Sharpe and Noah Clowney offer flashes, but Brooklyn's offense remains limited. They're near the bottom of the league in field goal percentage, true shooting, and overall offensive rating. They can hit threes in streaks, but long stretches of cold shooting often sink their chances. On the Celtics side, Jaylen Brown continues to carry the scoring load with Jason Tatum sidelined. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard bring spacing, stability, and timely shot-making. Boston's style is slow, methodical, and intentional. They average the slowest pace in the NBA, and when they control tempo, their defense becomes the anchor. Even in their recent win over the Nets, they won with defensive pressure and a controlled half-court attack, not a high-possession sprint. This matchup leans towards slower possessions, guarded drives, and long defensive stretches. 2 bottom-tier pace teams meeting in Boston often means a grind, not a shootout. And today's AI pick is under 222.5. Will we cash or will we burn? On to Game 3.
Tonight we shift to the United Center, where the Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls collide in what might be the fastest game on the entire slate. Miami enters at 9-6, riding momentum from a dominant win over Golden State. Chicago sits at 8-6, pulling out back-to-back victories and finally getting some rhythm after an early stumble. Both teams are hot, both teams are aggressive, and both teams refuse to slow down. For the Heat, Norman Powell has become the unexpected centerpiece, dropping over 25 points per game with efficient perimeter shooting. Bam Adebayo remains the stabilizing force inside, and Andrew Wiggins adds scoring pressure on the wing when he's available. Even when Miami's shooting dips, their pace doesn't. They push possessions, attack early, and run one of the league's highest assist rates. Chicago brings firepower of its own. Josh Giddey is nearly averaging a triple-double and directing the offense with command. Nikola Vucevic continues to stretch defenses with his inside-out scoring, and Kobe White, when active, brings instant offense. The Bulls shoot nearly 40% from 3 and rank among the league's best in true shooting and effective field goal percentage. These aren't just high-paced teams. They're high-paced teams with top-tier efficiency. When both squads sit inside the top 3 in pace and top 10 in shooting, the scoreboard doesn't crawl. It races. This matchup has the DNA of a track meet, not a grind. And today's AI pick is over 249.5. Will we cash or will we burn? On to Game 4.
Tonight we close in Houston, where the Rockets welcome the Denver Nuggets in a battle between two of the most efficient offenses in the league. Denver enters at 11-3, carrying the poise you'd expect from a championship-caliber group. Houston stands at 10-3, winners of 10 of their last 11 and undefeated in their last 5. Both teams are in form, but only one comes in trending upward with momentum that hasn't blinked. For the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic remains the center of everything. Nearly 30 points, over 13 rebounds, 11 assists. This is one of the most dominant stat profiles in modern basketball. When he controls the flow, Denver becomes a problem no defense can solve. But Aaron Gordon's lingering hamstring injury hangs over this matchup. Without him, Denver loses its most versatile defender, especially the one best suited to handle Kevin Durant. And Houston has fully committed to its new identity. Durant continues to score with effortless precision, while Alperen Şengün elevates every possession with his interior playmaking. They lead the league in three-point percentage, dominate the offensive glass, and finish possessions with discipline and physicality. Add the energy of the Toyota Center, and you get a team that has consistently outplayed opponent expectations. This matchup isn't about who plays better basketball. It's about who's healthier, deeper, and carrying the sharper edge. And today's AI pick is Rockets minus 2.5. Will we cash or will we burn? On to Game 5.
All right, last stop of the night. Portland rolling into Chase Center to face a Warriors team that's rested, irritated, and undefeated at home. The Trail Blazers come in at 6-9 and slipping fast, losing 7 of their last 9. Golden State sits at 9-8, and despite a couple rough patches, they've been a different animal in their own building. For Portland, everything starts with Deni Avdija. He's putting up nearly 26 points per game and carrying the load while half the roster sits in street clothes. Shaedon Sharpe, Jerami Grant, and Drew Holiday are all banged up and questionable. Damian Lillard, Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III, Blake Wesley, and Matisse Thybulle are already ruled out. That's not a roster. That's a survival test. They play fast, they fight, but they give up points in waves. Golden State still revolves around Stephen Curry, nearly 28 a night with that same cold-blooded rhythm that silences an arena before he even lands. Jimmy Butler brings force and control on the wing, and the Warriors' role players hold the structure together with defense and spacing. Even without Jonathan Kuminga, Golden State shoots better, defends better, and makes smarter possessions than Portland right now. This matchup isn't complicated. One team is patching holes and trying to hang on. The other is rested at home and motivated after dropping a game to the same team earlier in the season. And today's AI pick is Warriors minus 7.5. Will we cash or will we burn? On to the recap with Lilith.
They lit the board on fire tonight, but only one thing matters now. What we walked away with carved into the stone. In Game 1, we rode the home avalanche. Cleveland Cavaliers minus 13 versus the Indiana Pacers. In Game 2, we faded the public steam. Brooklyn Nets at Boston Celtics, under 222.5. In Game 3, we embraced the track meet. Miami Heat at Chicago Bulls, over 249.5. In Game 4, we backed the surge in Houston. Rockets minus 2.5 versus the Denver Nuggets. In Game 5, we trusted the home fortress. Golden State Warriors minus 7.5 versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Ahora lo decimos en español. Juego 1, Cleveland Cavaliers menos 13 contra los Indiana Pacers. Juego 2, Brooklyn Nets contra Boston Celtics. Baja de 222.5 puntos. Juego 3, Miami Heat contra Chicago Bulls. Alta de 249.5 puntos. Juego 4, Houston Rockets menos 2.5 contra los Denver Nuggets. Juego 5, Golden State Warriors menos 7.5 contra los Portland Trail Blazers. Like and subscribe. Will we cash or will we burn? Wer nicht wagt, der nicht gewinnt. Those who don't dare don't win.